The same family names have controlled more wealth than entire countries for over 300 years. You went to school for over a decade. Nobody mentioned this once.
If you scroll through social media today, the definition of wealth is loud. It looks like the serial entrepreneur grinding through a 100-hour workweek, chasing the next trending market, and parking a fleet of Italian sports cars on a cobblestone street to prove they made it. But step away from the noise, and you find a completely different financial ecosystem. In the quiet, centuries-old estates of dynastic families, nobody is calling themselves a hustler. They don't measure success by quarterly earnings or flashy startups. They measure it by how well their assets will perform for their great-grandchildren. The modern creator or executive often falls into a predictable cycle. They trade their time and health to accumulate cash, mistaking a high active income for actual wealth. When a person works exclusively for their money, rather than building a protective architecture around it, the fortune they spend a lifetime building frequently dissipates the moment it's handed down. To understand how true, enduring leverage is constructed, we have to stop analyzing the people sweating to acquire dollars. Instead, we have to look at the dynasties that designed the invisible plumbing those dollars flow through. Securing a legacy that survives for centuries does not happen by trying to sit on the throne or hoard physical gold. It happens by owning the ledger that dictates how the entire kingdom operates. In the 15th century, the Republic of Florence was a dense, hyper-competitive hub of European trade. It was here that a single family, the Medici, realized that transporting physical coins across dangerous trade routes was slow, inefficient, and heavily restricted. This abstract ledger illustrates their solution: double-entry bookkeeping. By strictly tracking every credit and debit in balancing columns, the Medici Bank could instantly settle accounts between merchants in London, Geneva, and Rome without moving a single ounce of silver. A monarch might command an army of 10,000 men, but those men needed to be fed, clothed, and paid. The people tracking the credits and debits suddenly dictated whether a king could afford to go to war in the first place. But the Medici knew that raw financial leverage makes you a target. Under the guidance of Lorenzo the Magnificent, the family pivoted. They stopped acting merely as bankers and began converting their massive profits into something untouchable. By financing the construction of churches, building public squares, and world-class art, the Medici converted their private wealth into public adoration and political immunity. They embedded their names so deeply into the marble and daily life of the city that to remove the Medici would mean tearing down Florence itself. They traded short-term financial hoarding for cultural immortality. 300 years later, the Rothschild dynasty took this exact blueprint and adapted it to a rapidly industrializing Europe. While the Medici mastered the ledger, the Roths placed their sons in 5 major financial capitals simultaneously, mastering the geography of finance during a time of intense geopolitical chaos. They understood that knowing an outcome before the market does is the ultimate financial instrument. By establishing a private, high-speed courier network, they could transmit news of geopolitical events, like the final outcome of the Battle of Waterloo, across the English Channel hours before official government messengers arrived. When London streets were paralyzed by rumors of military defeat, the Roths already knew the victory was secure. They used that asymmetrical information to buy up panicked assets at steep discounts, transforming public instability into massive private equity. From there, they graduated from commercial banking to sovereign debt. They began bankrolling entire empires, financing railway expansions across continents, and funding the militaries of warring nations. In 1875, when the British Empire needed immediate capital to purchase a massive stake in the Suez Canal, they didn't go to their own treasury. They went to the Rothschilds, who provided a £4 million loan to secure control of the global shipping route. It proved a harsh reality of global power. When empires expand, the entity holding the national debt and the communication lines holds a stronger hand than the politicians signing the treaties. The algorithms of Wall Street may execute trades in milliseconds today, but the centralized systems of credit, debt, and asymmetric information are the exact same mechanics established in the Renaissance. Yet the modern entrepreneur ignores this history. They split their attention across a dozen different LLCs, chasing every new crypto trend or real estate pitch that crosses their desk, burning out before any single venture achieves structural permanence. Stepping out of that cycle requires a strict shift in focus. You have to isolate a single, reliable stream of cash flow and solidify your ownership of it, fully mastering one domain before attempting to conquer another. That means developing a ruthless filter. The most valuable asset you have isn't capital, it's your focus. Protecting that focus requires declining 99% of the opportunities that come your way, so your energy remains concentrated on the one system you actually control. It also means recognizing your own limitations. Instead of grinding through every logistical hurdle alone, you insulate your core asset by hiring dedicated attorneys, accountants, and operators who can see the blind spots you can't. A garage full of exotic cars is mostly a billboard for a high tax bracket and a lack of free time. If you want a life you don't want to retire from, you have to stop scrambling to earn the king's coin and start drafting the blueprints for your own enduring bank.
The Medici built the banks. The Rothschilds funded the wars. The systems they designed 300 to 600 years ago still decide how your money moves today. You didn't learn this in school because school was never designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to make you useful. And if that just hit different, same here.